Well, it's because we need to have a council resolution that goes to the Remuneration Authority, which approves the split.
Well, let's say, another hypothetical question, let's say we don't have a resolution, and I say, well, I'm not going to support a resolution, I want that increase to be split fairly amongst the 10 councillors. So that's what I'm saying. So if wasn't a resolution carried here today, what would happen then?
They're out of different funding pools, so the councillors' funding pool is completely separate to the mayoral funding pool, and they can't join at all.
So the can't word has controlled me for 5 years now.
I'm just disappointed that the mayor's got a rise in his pay.
I'm bloody disappointed too.
Someone had to say it.
I would point out though that there will be another funding round from my salary. I think in about 4 weeks' time. It's up at about 40,000. It will not be held by Rotary this year. It's been held by 3 people I've chosen in the community, Tom Finley and a couple of others. So it goes back into the community anyway. Not that people would really care. Huh?
I'm just making a
silly comment. I just, that's my views on it. But what I'm saying really is we can't have any input to this anyway. Yeah. So again, we've got another mechanical matter in front of us. Is that right, or am I being too cynical?
No, that's correct. The only time you'd have any input would be right at the beginning, where you decide on your percentage split for the councillors.
So we can't change that split now.
No, and you've already done well.
No.
Okay. Cool. Any other questions?
Seconded.
Councillor Johnson, Councillor Hickling seconded. All in favour? Okay, council engagements for May, fairly heavy agenda. I'll go. I'm sorry?
There's another piece of paper that went round with some additional
This one here?
changes.
With all the scribbles on it?
Yep.
All right, you've got the scribbles. Okay, good.
Oh, no.
Oh, I've got some more.
Some additional scribbles.
Okay, sure, and I've got some more, but does anybody want to change anything before I make a couple of announcements?
So could I just add on to that, there is a performance monitoring group meeting on the 17th of May.
Oh, yeah, I had that. 7th,
sorry.
Yeah.
From 10:30 till 12. Yeah. And representation review workshop from 9:30 to 10:30 on the same day, the 7th.
Okay, well, as you know, I attended Bay of Plenty Triennial meeting last Friday, of which I was the chair. And that meeting was basically, or one of the major agenda items, that was local government reform. How did we get to where we are, and how are we going to deal with this going forward? We did have our workshop together where you all gave a mandate of a general description as to going forward. There's a press release going out today from all the mayors. If I've got time, I will get that released to you through your computers. Basically, all the Bay of Plenty mayors. We had what's the MP for Rotorua? My brain's his father. Yeah, Todd. Yeah, we had Todd McClay there. It was a really, really good meeting. All the mayors and the chair were there from EBOP. I put forward that semi-proposition of what I talked about, a united council. It's felt by all the mayors there that those bullet points that they brought out in local government reform, and I think it's numbered 1 to 8, 1 to 4 are a done deal. They are being legislated in September, and that's what will happen. It's not up for negotiation or anything like that. However, if you read the next 4 bullet points, I made comment to this, they say a lot, but they don't really mean anything. But what they do mean, and the mayors will concur, is that they're telling us we've got, I think, a time frame of a maximum of 3 months from memory. And they lost a few weeks with the demise of Dr. Honourable Nick Smith. That the mayors of the district are very, very keen to put a plan to government, rather than government come to us and tell us how it's going to happen at the next election or whenever, that we to go with a plan with 3 E's in it: efficiencies, economy and enterprise is what we're focused on. We're trying to formulate a way that we can come together, go to central government and say this is what we think local government reform should be, because we have had a clear signal that if we come with a palatable and workable plan to reform or overhaul local government, they will be very receptive, because if we don't, they're just going to make one up and we'll have to wear it. So the next meeting is we're working on tight time frames, and there's quite a lot of meetings for the mayors to get through. The next meeting that the mayors will be attending is Friday the 11th of May, Rotorua. which is an extraordinary Bear Plenty triennial meeting. It will start at 9:30 p.m. and I will be attending that. Because I'm attending that, once again, we have a date clash where Friday the 11th of May is Zone 1 and Zone 2 combined, which has been held in Manukau City. Now, all the mayors have pledged to attend the Rotorua, so obviously there'll be no mayors from the Bay of Plenty at Zone 1, Zone 2, but we've all said that we will make sure we have a minimum of 1 or 2 delegates to represent us at Zone 1, Zone 2. So I need to ask for a couple of volunteers, or 1 or 2, to go to the Manukau meeting, drive up in the morning, drive out home that afternoon, Friday 11th of May, Zone 1 and Zone 2. So if anybody want to volunteer for that?
I don't mind. I've been to quite a few of them already, so I know that.
Keith's actually supported me a couple of times, but it's fair to shuffle it around if there's other people.
Just got to check a diary, but I could manage.
Friday 11 May, it's Zone 1, Zone 2 combined.
Yeah, I'll go too.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'll be able to go too.
Is 2 enough? Councillor Downard, Councillor Johnson?
Well, we could take.
Who else wanted to go? Was there somebody else?
A seat.
Well, car
You wanna
takes
go,
4. How many are we allowed to take?
It doesn't cost money.
No, that's what I mean.
If you can fit them in a car, 1 car up, 1
4
car
wants
back.
to go, 4 can go.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got Downard and I've got Kipper and I've got Johnson, and is there a 4th?
Great. Okay.
Keith, do you want to attend again? You've been going, a bit of continuity.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah.
Okay, so that was that. Councillors' get-together's been scheduled for Tuesday the 22nd of May, but that's LTP deliberations, so can we find a date closer to that time, because there's at least a couple of issues resulting from this morning that need to have a bit of input. So can we find another date for that, because you're falling on top of your LTP
We can't do it
deliberation?
the week before because the week before is the submission period.
Yeah, well, do you want to have one next week? I don't know. I'm just looking for another date, because that date won't work. Yeah?
Obviously, we've got a lot of submissions in those 4 weeks. Those 2 weeks are going to be pretty well full.
The 14th of May is still 3 weeks away. Do you want to have, what I'm saying is, do you want to have one next week or the week after? You've already got 2 agenda items I know of.
In terms of the representation review, the 7th of May, your councillors potentially all here for that. So,
What time does that start in?
it's at 9:30 to 10:30. Then you've got the PMG
Finishes at 12.
at 12.
So we could have lunch and just have it in there.
PMG's at 12.
No, it finishes at 12.
Finishes 12. So would councillors be happy on that day to start that at 12, have a lunch here and have your workshop, councillors?
I'll have to put my apologies in for it. Transport meeting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm looking for suggestions.
I'm happy for that.
I'm happy with that because May is pretty well booked up with submissions, and
Okay,
we've all got families and
Half a day, may as well be a day.
everything. So and now the 11th's taken up with Zone 1 and Zone 2.
Yeah.
So that's 2.5 weeks gone out of May.
Okay, so that was the date. What was it again, please?
7th of May.
And 12 o'clock?
We could do 12 o'clock lunch.
Can we make the locality here? Or do you want to go down somewhere?
No, make it here because it's easy. Then you've got lunch and then you can just carry on.
Okay, we'll make an
We can talk
exception to
during
rule.
lunch.
We have one here?
Yeah.
All happy with that? Okay, and then going down to the suggested resolution, is it councillors,
Dream session.
approval will be given to councillors for the attendance local government conference Queenstown. That's Cooper and Downard.
Yep.
And Nicola was going, Councillor Williams was going under her own steam. Councillor Henderson? You wanted something? Well, I'm still on the same page. Well, okay, just park Queenstown for a minute. So we finished with meeting dates?
Well, Your Worship, there was something on the computer about a meeting in Turangi regarding erosion, a workshop.
We've had that. Oh, is it?
No, the WRC are running one for the the erosion. That's at dock office, I believe.
It is,
What
yeah.
about this? What date's that on?
On the 8th on the board.
It's on the same day as all these workshops in Turangi as well.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
No. I just
Well, that's
wondered
the
whether
8th, eh?
Yeah.
I just wondered whether we were supposed to attend it. That's,
We've been invited.
But does it overlap with these workshops?
Yes.
Why would WRC be having a workshop when we're in a 45% split under Project Watershed for this issue of erosion? Why would they be going down there to have workshops with people and we're not involved in it?
Well, I only read it
So
on
I
the
can
computer.
probably give a bit of background to this. The date that was being set, the 8th of May, there was a earlier meetings suggested date, and I contacted Laurie Donald from WRC, and I actually suggested that day before these workshops turned up, and then subsequently these workshops went in, and there was a meeting invite sent out from Laurie Donald, and what was originally going to be a 1 or 2 hour meeting has now become like a whole most of the day thing, sort of with a bus and all this sort of thing. So that's a bit of background to it anyway.
So, mind you, it's the Turangi-Tongariro community boards that are having these workshops, isn't it?
Yeah.
So councillors could go to the WRC workshop, couldn't they?
I was just raising it.
But it would cross-pollinate with Gary and Rob, wouldn't it? So they'd have to decide, well,
I've declined the WRC stuff and I'll be at these. So.
okay. Well, that would sort that, would it?
No, I'm obviously doing the board workshops too.
And leaves the rest of the councillors to go into this workshop with WRC. Okay, is that fine? Okay. So then,
Tina, there was
Councillor Johnson, been a long day for me.
you had a representation workshop on the, is that
On the
7th?
7th of May, yes.
What
From
time?
9:30 to 10:30.
Okay.
And then we've got a PMG if you guys can wait for us, and then 12 o'clock we'll have the councillors' workshop. Okay, now going back to
Representation review workshop. I didn't know about it.
9:30.
it's on
Not on the book. On the.
why is that not on here, Ms. Jakes?
Pardon?
Why is this review on the 7th not on the meeting list?
It was missed out.
Okay. Oh, that's fair. That's an honest
Sure.
answer, isn't it?
9:30
Okay, so can
9:30
we?
to 10:30.
I've asked a minute ago. I'll ask again. So that needs to be added.
Yes.
7th of May. Time, please.
9:30 to 10:30.
Purpose.
Representation review workshop.
This is a
So
continuation.
that's where
Yes.
we've already talked about it once. Do you have Maori seats? Have we got too many seats? Whatever. Yeah, it has to be done. Yep. Cool.
Rural seats and
So
stuff.
that's that. So, council attendance at the local government conference. This was workshopped, and it was agreed that councillors Cooper and Downard were going to local government conference. Councillor Williams wishes to go, and she's happy to support herself in her airfares and registrations, etc. Councillor Henderson?
I'm just not sure when it was workshop. Maybe I wasn't there, but I did.
Oh, you were there. You were in the library.
No, he wasn't there.
No.
He wasn't there.
Last
I did send my interest to, I think, Anne a couple of months ago. I would like to.
At your own expense or council's expense?
I don't know how this works. I would think that I'm there doing something useful for the ratepayer, so frankly, I would like to think about that group. But, I'm open to that. I'm not sure how these things are usually handled.
Well, most councils have a policy, and it's quite expensive. Rotorua Council's policy was 2 people, and last year I think 3 went from council here. 3 ladies, I think. Councillor Truman, Councillor Kirk, and Councillor Williams. This year it was felt important that the mayor and the deputy mayor go, for the simple reason of we've got this local government reform, which is a hot potato at the moment, and so it was talked about and workshopped in a council meeting. So, but I'm happy to open it up again to fellow councillors to consider Councillor Henderson's request.
Yeah, I just note that I did email council a couple of months ago expressing an interest in it. So, and then again the other day.
Councillor Mincher?
Yeah, just to counter that, I think we did discuss it at length. Renee went there, Rob, but just that we felt that it was best to send the top 2, if we're going to call the chairman and the deputy the top 2 to go, and anybody else would be at their expense, because the most important, some of the other ones, it wouldn't matter if we went as councillors, but regardless of who put an interest in there, we thought we must send the mayor and the deputy in this situation. I think if it wasn't so much on the agenda about local government reform, we just open it up to all of us, but that was sort of where we got to in that session. Yeah, well, that's fine. I got no problem with that, but I would have liked to have received a response, given that I expressed an interest in it 2 months ago, and apparently that interest hasn't been raised at that meeting or made aware of that. So anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Was it to me you emailed, or was it to Municipal Tat or somebody?
I think it was to Anne, but I'd have to check. Yeah, I'd have to check.
I would have to check as well. I'm afraid I can't.
If it was to me, I would apologise, but I don't remember seeing a email. Council engagements.